Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your February connection session. I am Princess India. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend. And what's not or whatever. We're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards. First, we're going to be looking at you as well as your person of interest and the energy between the two of you. And then we're going to go into a more specific spread where we're going to be looking at how your person of interest thinks as well as feels about you. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay. Wow. All right. Looks like two cards for Cancer. Interesting. Let's get this one. And no, this one. And for continuity, I'm going to go ahead and pull the cards for the second spread. So we're prepared when we get to that. And another heads up, I am using the tarot of sexual magic. And since YouTube is ruled by AI now, I don't know how, it responds to having, naked people. So I'm going to be putting my fingers over body parts. So anyway, the energy representing my Cancerians, the first card that we have, interesting. Wait, oh, that's a lot going on there. Hold on, wait. Got to use a whole hand to cover that one. We have the Three of Cuppies and, and then, okay, they have clothes on. Then we have the 10 of Cuppies. So what it's looking like, Cancer, at least in reference to this particular person here, you're very enthralled by this person. But I do kind of get this vibe. I mean, I really feel like you're super into this person. Like almost the word I would use is really weird word. Borderlining and teetering on like intoxicated almost is the word I want to use, which is a strange word for me to use. But you feel like they're very dreamy. Let's say it that way. But I do feel like there is a little bit of feelings in the background and the person's kind of busy or focused elsewhere a bit, and not necessarily saying like it's another person or anything, but almost like they're like a hella busy person, or they're easily distractible. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always something else on their mind. But when you are in this person's presence, okay, thank you guys, that's the differentiation here. When you're in this person's presence, you feel like you're the main central interest, like you feel like you have the center of their attention. But when the two of you aren't together, it feels like almost like they detach or something like that. So it's like, say hypothetically, it's like a Friday and this person comes over to your house, and it's like when they're there, it's like you're, cooking dinner, you're like all in each other's face, smooching and stuff like that. But like Saturday morning comes and, they have errands to run, and it's like the whole day of Saturday could kind of like go by. And it's like they won't call you or won't text you. So it's like trying to figure out like, why are they like that? You know what I'm saying? When they're with me, they're like super, attached. But it's like when they're not with me, it seems like, they kind of forget about you. It feels like, right? Now, the energy representing your person of interest. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Wait, okay, I need to do that. Okay. We have the Chariot, that is Cancerian energy. Interesting enough. I think it would be interesting if Cancer is dating Cancer. If you are, let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this after the stream. But in this particular deck, I see this Chariot card as like a kind of sneaking out the back door energy. I said this with another sign. Who was this? Was it Gemini? Yes. It was with Gemini that I said this. So if you have that in your chart, or if your person is a Gemini, then definitely check it out. But I was saying the person of interest of Gemini was kind of fearful if Gemini was like committal or not, because it's like, they're kind of picking up different, vibes about them. But I say sneaking out the back door because the thing with this is more or less your person of interest is like very driven or very focused or has like other responsibilities. And it's literally an energy where, like how I said, them coming to your house on a Friday night, it's like you'd fall asleep with them and you wake up and they're like not there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the errands that they had to run, it's like more or less they either, got up super early, kiss you on the cheek and were like, I'm about to head out. Or you literally wake up and they're just like gone. And then you hit them up and they're, like, oh, I had to take care of this, had to take care of this, had to take care of that. And it leaves you kind of feeling away. So it's kind of like the vibe I'm seeing from this chariot with them is very similar to what I was picking up in you guys' energy. It's like when the two of you are separated, like the person isn't with you, it's just the energy feels different. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to how it is that they are when they're with you. Now, the energy between the two of you. Oh, wow. Wait, hold on. There's a boob. We have the 7 of Cuppies. So it's confusion. It's like more or less Cancer. Well, let me say it this way. It's Cancer. I cannot freaking talk today. From your end, Cancer, it's confusion on your side because and I mean, this is reminding me a lot of the Gemini energy. So like I said, if that's relevant, check it out, because there was a lot of confusion going on with those two. But from your side, Cancer, it's like, I know they like me, but it's like being confused because it's like, I know they do, but sometimes it feels like they don't. You know what I'm saying? But on your person of interest side, it's more or less like your traditional vision of the 7 of Cups. It's like they have a whole bunch of different things that are going on and their energy is fixated on a lot of different stuff. So, and not necessarily saying this in a negative way, but it's kind of like, of all of the things that your person is focused on, whether it's like their job or if they have kids or, they volunteer, they have a side business, whatever, they have family, they have friends. It's how I'm seeing this is kind of like Cancer. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but I'm just saying this from this perspective of how I'm seeing it. It's like Cancer is like one of the cups. You know what I'm saying? It's like, as things stand at present, it's not like it's Cancer's cup higher here, proverbially speaking, and then all of the other cups. It's like all of the cups are on the same shelf. So it's like every single thing gets the equal amount of attention. So when your person of interest is with you, you have their attention. When they're at work, work has their attention. When they're with their kids, if they have kids, it's like the kids have their attention. When they're with their parents have their attention, so it's kind of like a leveled thing and they kind of allocate it to each person. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand on your end how that's kind of confusing, because what I'm kind of feeling from this, it's more or less like Cancer wanting to feel like a priority, which is your right to feel that way. It's wanting to feel like a priority amongst all of the other things. So it's almost kind of like you're intuiting exactly what it is that's happening. It's like their energy kind of shuts off when, they're doing other stuff, if that's making sense. Now, getting more specifically into our spread of how your person is thinking and feeling about you, just a little heads up if you're not familiar of how I do this. First thing that we're going to be looking at is their fleeting thoughts. That's more or less information that they're weighing, or thoughts that are like jetting in and out of their head when they're doing mindless activities, or kind of zone out for a second. Then we're looking at their conscious thoughts towards you, and that's pretty much what they are aware of in reference to you. Then we're looking at the subconscious impressions and projections, which is something that's true about them that they're not aware of, that they're 9 times out of 10 projecting onto you. So like, it's the truth about them, but they're seeing that as the truth about you. And lastly, we're looking at their feelings for you. So the first card we have for their fleeting thoughts. Oh, this is nice. I think Gemini had this too. Oh, wait, hold on. Boobs. Wait a second. We have the 6 of Swords. Then we have wow, this is a lot like Gemini, man. Cancer, are y'all dealing with a Gemini? That's so weird. We have the 6 of Cuppies in the reverse. Then we have, okay, they're clothed. Well, they're not clothed, but they're covered up at least. We have the King of Wands in the reverse. Seeing a theme here with all of these connection sessions. And then we're going to look at their conscious thoughts towards you, Wow, this is the same exact freaking card. That's insanity. Wait, okay. I had to be sure, y'all. I just got back from quitting YouTube. I'm not trying to get, my channel deleted. Okay. We have the 8 of Pentacles. That is so odd how much this is like Gemini. I mean, the only other thing I could see here, unless you guys are cuspers, that would be a reason why it's a heavy influence. But anyway, so what it is looking like, Cancer, with your person of interest in reference to their fleeting thoughts, it's a desire of them wanting to move forward with you. Like that's pretty much where their headspace is. Like they're wanting to move forward and see how how this goes. However, God, this is just like Gemini. However, with the 6 of Cups in the reverse, there's more or less them in this. I can't wait to get to the subconscious impression because this very well could be a projection. They want to move forward with you, but their perception of you is more or less that you may not be ready to move forward with them. You know what I'm saying? Like they're cool with like taking things, kind of easy, and the proper phrase would really be like, let's see where this goes type of deal. That's what they're wanting to do, but in the back of their mind they're kind of wondering if you're stuck on someone from your past. You feel what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. My sneaking suspicion, we'll find out in a second. My sneaking suspicion is that, I mean, unless you guys know that you still stuck on somebody from your past, like this like a rebound kind of person thing. But with this King of Wands in the reverse being here, and this is kind of like the darker side of their fleeting thoughts, you know what I'm saying? With that being here, it's them saying, once again, very much how Gemini was, that it's a thought of like you being non-committal. You know what I'm saying? It's like they wonder if you're just here for like a dalliance, which is so crazy for me. Can I just be honest for 2.5 seconds? Looking at especially Cancerian women, okay? Every Cancer woman that I've ever known, uh, they're like, like a romantic type, and not in the sense of like just like romance, but I mean, I'm speaking really like about like there's different styles of fashion, and most Cancerian women I know fall into that romantical type where it's like, they're whimsical dress wearers. They like, shirts and dresses that actually have flowers on them and stuff like that. So they're like really soft life type of gals. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I've ever known, let me know in the comments if you're cross watching this and you've ever known any different. But I don't think I've ever known a Cancerian woman, and that's sun, moon, or rising, or Venus. I don't think I've ever known a Cancerian woman who did not want to be like in a committed relationship. Like honestly, in my whole life, every Cancerian woman that I know, I don't think I've ever met one. Like every Cancerian woman I've ever known has always felt more like has been aware and felt more comfortable being in partnership with someone. So it's interesting for their perception towards you to be like, like you might love them and leave them type of thing. But I really do feel like this is kind of a projection, because looking at this Chariot coming out for them, you know what I'm saying? And this is just, I don't know, the way that my intuitive gifts are set up, I'm always reading patterns and themes, and I'm seeing the energy pattern of the Chariot, and it's and with that being a Cancerian card, and then seeing what's in their fleeting thoughts, especially with King of Wands in the reverse, and it's almost like this is hella a projection. It's like them being very touch and go. They're seeing you as very touch and go, but you're not, and they are, but they're oblivious to the fact that they are, if that's making sense. And then with their conscious thoughts, with this 8 of Pentacles that we have here, dude, I really feel like all of this is a dead ass projection. And this is identical to how Gemini was, dude. It's like with them, they're feeling more or less like, oh, I want to move forward with them. I want to see where this goes. And, I'm totally showing Cancer, that I want to put work into this and that I want us to be together. You know what I'm saying? And this is interesting because dead ass, you guys connection session from January, it was like literally like you meeting your soulmate type of thing. But I'm starting to think if this is the same group of people, I don't know if it's the same group of people, But it's like if you watched Cancer last month and resonated with it, and this is kind of resonating with how it is that you're feeling, what I can tell you already before I even turn over the rest of these cards, child, your person seems like a self saboteur. Like they're self sabotaging. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, oh my gosh, things are getting too close. And that's why I can't wait to get to the subconscious card, because it's almost like a thing of like, oh my gosh, this is getting too real. Let me try to find something wrong with them. Of course, they're not consciously thinking this, but it's like, I don't want to get my heart broken. So let me try to find something wrong with this, or let me spread out my attention to all this other stuff to kind of push them away so I can reject them before they reject me. It's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting with this. Because in this person's perception, they feel like they're putting in a lot of work into the connection, but they feel almost as if, well, I'm not going to say feel, because this is their conscious thoughts. It's like their perception is that, I'm being super romantic and I'm showing how much I care. I want to move forward with you. I'm making that very, clear, but they're seeing their perception of Cancer is almost as if you're aloof, like you're not seeing all of the, sweet, kind things that they're doing for you. And it's like, wow, it's like I'm putting all this work in and they're not really like appreciating what it is that I'm investing into this connection to show them that I want to move forward with them, So the thoughts that they're more or less weighing in contrast to them wanting to move forward is like, are they stuck on someone from their past? Are they thinking about their ex-wife or their ex-husband, their baby mama, baby daddy, their, first love from, college, like whatever the case. It's like, are they stuck on someone from their past, or are they just non-committal? Are they just kind of like, fly by night kind of person? And, they just want me for, a good time, not a long time. You know what I'm saying? So this is all of the stuff that they're weighing, but in their head, they feel like they're contributing more than you are, because it's almost like they're seeing you as kind of like emotionally disconnected, which is so strange for me for a Cancer. I mean, I know you guys have like your little false bravado. I know all Cancers have this. I think it's adorable. Like this little shell thing where, because it's a self-protection thing. Like this, your proverbial shell where it's like an emotional detachment. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because of my gifts or because I'm a Taurus. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I always see through that with Cancerian people to easily see like, their giant, juicy beating heart underneath it all. So no matter how like rough the exterior, I'm always like, oh, they're a little freaking sweetheart, little lover, dag nabbit, son of a gun, pinch your little cheeks, you little lover. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think that's kind of asinine for a person to even have that perspective. But then again, I'm biased. But anyway, let's get into their subconscious impression. Ain't that some stuff? Ciao. Wait, hold on. Let me cover this. Okay. We have the Emperor. Okay, my fingers are in the way, y'all. My fingers are long. That's as good as we can get it. It's the Emperor. And that's Aries energy. So like I was saying, this is their subconscious impression. So this is how they actually are, but how it is that they're perceiving you. So here's the thing. With the Emperor can have feelings. It's like, I mean, it's not the Emperor reverse. So they're not like, a lack of empathy. It's like they have emotions, but they're not really showing it because the fixation is more on like, getting things done. You know what I'm saying? In a love context, I look at the Emperor as a figure who suffers in silence. It's a person who is like a slave to responsibility, a slave to expectations. They feel like they have to, provide and protect for people. And to put this into context of what this could look like, it would be like a guy who, I don't know, his dad died. I'm saying this hypothetically. Like his dad died. So, his mom, lives alone or whatever. And he feels this personal responsibility to make sure that his mom is taken care of and, his aunts or whatever, like anyone who's in a bind, they feel is their personal responsibility to make sure that this person is taken care of. And they have a tendency to sacrifice what they truly desire and what's right for them for the benefit of this cause, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's different for each person. So it's almost like this person thrives off of, what is the word I'm looking for? It's not self-deprecation. What is the word? Um, like I'm seeing the meaning of it, but not the word. It's like a person who withholds. I can't think of what the word is for that right now, but it's like a person who like abstains from things. So like a person who, what is it? Like they have like no nut November, right? It's like not someone who does no nut November, but it's like a person who like purposefully abstains from like sex or junk food or alcohol, and not saying that these are things you should partake in, but it's like their intention behind them not fraternizing with these things isn't like, oh, I have a healthier lifestyle and like, alcohol destroys your liver, or processed food has nitrates in it, you know what I'm saying? Or a moralistic thing of like, sleeping, having sex outside of marriage, or sleeping, having casual sex partners or whatever. You get energetic cords. Like that's not their reasoning behind it. I think that from the outside looking in, people would perceive it that way. But and this sounds so weird, but it's like this person almost gets off on abstaining from things. So it's like if they want something, and mind you, this is all subconscious stuff, right? If this person wants something, it's almost like, okay, that's not the word I was looking for, but thank you guys, because that does help. It's like masochism. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a moralistic thing as to why they abstain from things. It's just the fact that they know that they really want it, and them abstaining from it causes them pain, but they like it. So fucking weird. I mean, I can't judge. I mean, I'm a Taurus. Look, I like sensory pleasures. Like the thought of such of a thing is like, death while I'm still in a body. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like they get off on that. So whatever it is that they truly desire and want, they hold themselves back from it. However, they're playing this out with people in their life. So how this relates to you, Cancer, is more or less like, okay, this person likes you. And mind you, this is all subconscious. So this is where the saboteur, the self-saboteur energy is coming from. This person really wants you, really desires to be with you. But on one facet of them, it's like, I have this cause and this mission, so I need to take care of my widowed mother, right? But I'm over taking care of her, you know what I'm saying? And spending more time with her than is really necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm spending time with her. I really want to be around you. But if I'm, not around you, you know what I'm saying? Or if it really goes this far to where they're just like, oh, we can't have sex for the next, 2-3 months or whatever, because, I'm meditating or whatever, I'm trying to, level up, or I'm working on this project and I need to retain my seed in order to maximize my creativity. You know what I'm saying? Them saying stuff like that and, creating that distance between the two of you, that's like a program that's running, and that's past life karma type of stuff, to be honest with you. So this is like a program that's running underneath it all. You know what I'm saying? Now that's just one facet of it. The other side of it, of what I'm seeing bleeding out into their fleeting thoughts and their conscious thoughts, is this whole thing of the projection, right? So it's like their underlying issue has like two manifestations of this false sense of responsibility, and then like this fear of intimacy. But because, like I said, it's subconscious, and them not being aware of this, they're seeing you as doing this. They're not seeing that other part of, like how I was saying, the abstaining and the holding back and all of that stuff. Only in the context of them feeling like you're not emotionally available, but it's more in the sense of and I would have to say they're emotionally unavailable, to be honest, because it's like a fear-based thing. It's like they're afraid of being too attached, and that's why they're using all of these distractions to prevent them from being attached. But why I can say this is like very quite literally self-sabotage is because with the Six of Swords, it's saying that they want to move forward. All of the other energy is what's keeping them stuck backward, right? And that's what they're projecting on you. I wonder if this is going on with them, but this is quite literally going on with them. You know what I'm saying? And how this becomes like a whole dude, this is literally, I love this, okay? Not what's happening with the person, but I'm loving the illustration of this because I literally feel like this is a teaching moment for a lot of people because um self-sabotage has been coming up in all my weeklies for like months now. But I have a lot of people, whether it's my subbies or even my clients, that want like more in-depth understanding of what self-sabotage looks like. And whenever I bring up how the subconscious has a huge role in what self sabotage looks like, because none of us are consciously like, I love this person and want to be in a relationship and want to move forward with them. So, but I'm afraid of intimacy. So let me sabotage the relationship. Like, no human being anywhere self sabotages like that. It's like it's our mind playing a trick on us. So it's not anything that cancer is doing in real life. Like there's literally nothing. You're just a willing participant, as we all are, in the demise of our own minds. So cancer is living their best life. It doesn't matter, how open, available you are for this person. It doesn't matter how much you bend over backwards. It doesn't matter how much you tell them that you love them. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is just stuff that they need to work out in their lifetime. So they're, like I said, these two programs that are running underneath all of this, one of the false responsibility, I need to live up to this and be this person. Like I secretly get off on holding back from things that I really want, which I mean, to me would say that, in their childhood, 9 times out of 10, that's something that happened. It's like their parents punished them by, not just like, taking stuff away, but it's like, forcing them to go extended periods of time without things that children should have. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like getting conditioned by that. You know what I'm saying? So it ends up becoming a trigger. So, them making it out of their childhood and being successful while they had parents who were keeping, basic needs and stuff away from them, they saw that motivated them. This is the subconscious process. So as an adult, in order for them to progress and move forward out of a situation they don't want to be in, I need to withhold things that I truly desire away from myself because that equals success, is what the false core belief would be. You feel what I'm saying? So my Cancerian person is kind of falling victim to that. But once again, they're not aware that this is what's influencing their choices and their behaviors every day. So the only thing that we all can do when we're not aware of what's happening is we can so clearly see that behavior in other people, even if they aren't displaying it. That's how freaking amazing our mind is. It's like we see this whole pattern playing out with other people and we're completely oblivious to the fact that we're projecting that. Like, how else would you know that so clearly? You know what I'm saying? So they're seeing you as themselves in so many words, of like them feeling like, oh my gosh, I really want to connect with Cancer, but it's like they have all of this stuff going on and it feels like they're disconnecting from me. But then Cancer's over here dead ass feeling like that. You know what I'm saying? Now their feelings towards you, ciao. Oh, wait, hold on. I have to make sure I had to do a booby check. Okay. Wait, what did that t-shirt used to say? That's the Ace of Swords in the reverse. What did that t-shirt used to say they used to sell like at Gadzooks and Spencer's for my millennials? The FBI, the federal boob inspector. I feel like that with these cards right now. I feel like the FBI. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, moving right along. So here's the thing. Their feelings towards you. I don't ever like seeing swords in the feeling section. But with this card in particular, this is talking about like etheric ties and bonding to someone. So more or less their feeling is if like you're not bonded or submitted, not submitted. Submitted is the wrong word. I really had to catch myself on that one. It's not submitted. They feel like you're not bonded or like I don't know why my vocabulary is like on the struggle bus today. But it's like, connected with them in so many words. Like you guys aren't merged together. It goes back to what I was saying with this King of Wands. It's like them feeling like it's almost like a sometimey kind of energy. Like they don't feel that you feel that they're like your end all be all, if that's making sense. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, to where it's like absolutely like, I'm sure like this is my person. It's like them feeling almost or having like this fear almost that you could easily detach or walk away from them at any moment. You know what I'm saying? But it's like their whole energy to me is a projection, because going back to what you guys cards are representing you from the very first spread that we did, it's like I see heavily that's exactly how you guys are feeling. It's like, I really like this person or I really love this person, but it's like, I feel like they're, neither here nor there with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. If it does work out, then it does work out. So it's almost like Cancer feeling as if this person, your person of interest, isn't 100% invested. It's like how I was saying with the Six of Swords, it's feeling almost as if like, let's just see how this goes. If it works out and we end up together, then cool. But if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. And I feel Cancer, you're not really looking for that. It's like you're looking for a person who's like, I want to be with you and I want this to work out. So I'm going to do the work for this to work out. But the irony is, on the flip side, that's exactly how your person of interest is seeing you. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I didn't dive this deep into, Cancer. I'm diving this deep into your person. But what it's looking like on their end is like they're the ones who are sabotaging this. And it's really coming from, it has nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with this person and the fears that they have of connecting. So and like I say, I say emotional unavailability, but I feel the proper term, like a more accurate term for this, because what the issue truly is, emotional unavailability would be a byproduct. So it would be a symptom of the deeper problem. The deeper problem here would be a fear of vulnerability. Now, when a person has a fear of vulnerability, that's a lot different than like narky behavior and all of that. This says that this person has a wounding around vulnerability, because once upon a time when they were vulnerable, they were deeply wounded. And once again, I always say, with people's traumas that they've been through in their life, that is not anything that you should have pity for. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this as a therapist and a trauma specialist. I'm saying this as a person that was once upon a time traumatized. It's like you can't have pity for people and placate into people's traumas and dysfunctions, because that ultimately becomes enabling and sets you up to be in a codependent relationship. And that's not helpful to anyone. It's not helpful to the person who is traumatized and not doing the work to work out their trauma, because you becoming codependent and enabling them is crippling them to stay the way that they are. And you're also playing into your own trauma, you know what I'm saying, of being a codependent, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying this to be like, oh my gosh, that poor guy, he had such a terrible childhood. Like, oh my God, let me just love him out of his pain. Like, that's not why it is that I'm saying that. But the whole thing is that this person 9 times out of 10 was wounded very bad once upon a time when they were hella vulnerable. And the only way that they know to keep themselves safe is keeping a safe distance between themselves and the other person. So whenever stuff starts getting too close to where, it's going to have to be that vulnerability and intimacy, it's like all of a sudden this subconscious process is triggered. And it's like, the rose-colored lenses come up, you know what I'm saying? And now they're starting to see everything through the lens of this subconscious process. So it's like, oh my gosh, they really don't, want to be with me. Like, they'd probably just leave me. They don't see me as a priority, so I'm gonna, reject them before they reject me. And then they'd walk away from that being like, oh yeah, the last person that I was with, they treated me like an option and not a priority. You know what I'm saying? And then Cancer is also feeling like the last person I was with treated me like an option and not a priority, but I don't know why, because I prioritized them a lot and they said that that wasn't good enough. So it's like you're confused And it's hard to integrate the lesson into your life because you're just like, I literally bent over backwards for this person and I'm not understanding, like, how is that not enough? Like, how is that the wrong thing to do? And then you end up going on a whole tirade of trying to fix something that was never wrong in the first place until you meet somebody like me who tells you something like this in a reading that you happened upon on YouTube. And then you're sitting here with your mouth agape, like, holy shit, I resonate with that. Like, that's happened to me lots of times. Hi, I'm Princess India. Nice to meet you. But anywho, moving right along. But that's what it is that I see that's going on here, Cancer. Now, what I can tell you in reference to this is, like, this isn't something that you can fix in this other person. And many of you guys know how I feel about situations such as this. Um, I'm not in the business of telling people what you should or shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Is this something that this person can work on? Yes. But is it something that you can have a hand in helping them work on? No, not until they become consciously aware of it. And even if you sent this person this video, if you were to tell this person verbatim, like if you were to get the transcript of this video and tell this person verbatim everything that I said to you, they would look at you and laugh hysterically, because that is how powerful the subconscious mind is. You can literally, like, and even like when I talk about resonance, like if you resonate with this reading, that's because something inside of you, and I would say not so much this because we're talking more about the other person, but like my soul sessions that I do at the top of the month. When you watch my soul sessions, if I say something that resonates with you and you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds familiar, I do that, right? That's because something has come out of your subconscious and it's starting to be made conscious, right? So when I give you words for something that you've experienced or terms for it and you resonate, it's like now this is something that you can bring into your conscious awareness, like your full conscious awareness. You have a name for it. You could read more up on those particular things and you can start to, work on that particular, behavior or approach to things. You know what I'm saying? But if something isn't ready, I call it the date of deliverance. If, because we're all working out stuff and will be for the rest of our life. If something has not yet come into like the pre-conscious, it's like if a person were to read you for filth and tell you the truth about yourself, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of my subscribers tell me this. Like there's people who used to watch me back in like 2018 and they used to hate me, right? And they're like, this bitch don't know what she's talking about. I'm like, that is not the case, right? And they're like, I unsubscribe from you. And I'm just like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And then they end up coming across another one of my videos like years later. You know what I'm saying? And then I end up saying something very similar to what I said years before, but they were ready to receive it at that time. And it's like, oh my gosh, like she was right. You know what I'm saying? So we all have different time frames. And I'm saying this to say with your person of interest, it's like, I don't doubt that you really care about this person, but don't take the information that I'm giving you as like a key to unlock them, because I feel like that's a sacred space in humanity, especially like as a therapist. It's like, I don't push people to change because I don't feel like anyone has to change if you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't feel like your behavior is a problem, then who the fuck am I to like tell you that it is? Because if it's not a problem to you, then it's not. You know what I'm saying? And with your person of interest at this present time, you may see their behavior as a problem because it's a block from you getting to where it is that you want to get with this person, right? But if it's not a problem for them yet, you know what I'm saying? Because they haven't had enough of a wake-up call. It's like you can't feel justified in wanting to save someone from themselves when they don't want to be saved because they're not aware that it's a problem. Now, I don't know why it is that I need to say that. Maybe because just me doing this for so many years, I know a lot of times people will send people my readings because it's like, oh my gosh, like this is what I need them to know about themselves. And it's like, send it to the person. But I'm telling you, it's literally futile if a person is not at their place. And I feel like that's sacred space for a human. Like that's between like us and spirit. And there's like no therapist, there's no spiritual teacher, there's no psychic, there's no tarot card reading that can pull a person out of the space before it's time for them to work, through this. Like, this is a sacred part of their individual human journey. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we have to respect about other people. You know what I'm saying? Don't know why I needed to go on that rant, but I did. But anywho, I'm going to pull one of these little love oracle cards just to try to get some more insight into this, going back to what I was saying about, like, I don't want to tell you whether you should, deal with this or not, because I don't know when this person is ever going to come to the awareness of this. Whoa. Oh my gosh. I might be psychic, y'all. The card that came out is Hammer, and it says sabotage, rebuilding, integration, repetitive, persistent, working on it. So legit with your person, like this, they're in a self-sabotaging cycle. This is what they do. You know what I'm saying? For the time being. Is this going to change in the foreseeable future? Let's see. Let me use another one of my decks. Let's answer that question for my Cancerians. Child, I don't know why in the month of February these readings are so long, but they are. So I guess. Okay, spirits. Can you tell my Cancers, is this person going to come to the realization of the subconscious influence anytime soon? Is this person going to, whoa. We have financial constraints. Oh, child. No, not yet. We have a healer of the ages. Come on, Dagnabbit, son of a gun. Autofocus. Stop being a douche. Okay, I think y'all can see that. We have healer of the ages in the reverse and financial constraints. Woo, child. So here's the thing. What I can tell you, I don't know if this is like near future or something along those lines, but and God, is this, y'all might need to watch Gemini, because I said the same thing for them. I was saying like this person being or was that Pisces? I think I was saying like with somebody being not spiritually aware, so them not being aware of what it is that was happening. I think that was Pisces. I said that in. So if that's in your chart or your person's chart, check that out. But anyway, with healer of the ages, that's pretty much talking about Christ consciousness and aligning with your higher self. You know what I'm saying? So moving forward, it's like, are they going to come out of this? With financial constraints coming out, the only hope of them coming out of this would be if they run into some type of money trouble. I know that sounds insane, but what I know about human beings and life experiences, I find that a lot of times in order for a person to have a wake-up call, it always somehow centralizes around finance. It's like, I feel like when our money is good, it's very, well, there's only two ways, right? Either your money has to be so good to the point that you literally have no more financial worries for the foreseeable future, so like you win the lottery or something like that. It's like, that's one time that I see that people end up having like this dark night of the soul kind of moment, because you usually spend all of your time worrying about money. I don't have money, or trying to get money. So that serves as a distraction to, like, your inner wounds and stuff like that. But then when you don't have money problems anymore, or even sometimes I see this with people who get into relationships and they don't have to work anymore. It's like suddenly all of this dark stuff that you were able to suppress. Or another example of this would literally be during Rona, right? It's like having to be at home every single day. It's like the distractions you had to make you to make you come to terms with what it is you didn't like about your life. It's like you had to sit in the life that you have and everything that you don't like about it. You know what I'm saying? So in that context is when stuff like that comes up. Or when a person who had their finances good and suddenly their money is funny, that also triggers all of these dark things that they don't like about themselves to come up. But it's like when you're in that median point financially to where you're good, you can use money as a tool to distract you from the stuff that it is that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they're telling me to say this, But it's even like sometimes I'm not anti plastic surgery. I'm not against that at all. Whatever floats your boat, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like if a person, which is why, like if you've ever got any type of cosmetic procedure or like bariatric surgery, you have to come to a therapist to get an assessment. You know what I'm saying? Before, like, in order to get cleared. I do lots of them all the time. But it's like you have to get a mental health evaluation to a biopsychosocial to make sure that you're in a good mental space. Now the reason why they recommend for you to do that is to make sure that you're not teetering into like body dysmorphia, meaning like I just don't like myself, and my perception is if I get all of these surgeries and make my body perfect, then it's like I'll like myself type of deal. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same kind of energy like that, where we're not dealing with the root cause that I don't like myself and I have low self-esteem, so I'm going to do the superficial thing and get the surgery. That's like the same thing I'm seeing with this financial constraint, because we can do that with money. I'm not going to deal with the fact that I'm unhappy. I'm just going to buy clothes and cars and trips and all this other kind of stuff to run away from the fact that I'm unhappy with myself. So I can't necessarily say if this is in the near future. I'm trying to think, y'all, if I can get and my deck that I use for time frames is literally like across the room. But I would say I wouldn't say near future, dude. I would have to say, I mean, maybe within the next year, maybe like the latter part of 2024, or maybe like somewhere around August. Let me see. Let me see. I obsess over things, y'all. If I don't, let me see. Come here, Dagnabbit. If the first card that falls out of this deck does not have a freaking time frame on it, I'm gonna quit, because I will sit here and obsess over this. But it's like what I'm seeing is going to happen with this person. So there is a possibility, to answer the question, there is a possibility that a change can happen. The healer of the ages coming out in reverse to me is saying it's confirmation that this person is completely oblivious to the fact that they're doing this. The only hope for this person of coming out of this is when they have a financial hiccup, right? And because that's just the only way that this would be a trigger enough for them to actually sit back and really look at it. But I don't want y'all hoping for this person's, oh, okay, this one does have a time frame on it. Ooh, child, that is not. All right, so this is my Gypsy Oracles, and it's the house card, and it's in the reverse. So this is kind of like the Tower a little bit, and the time frame for this is May 2nd or June 2nd. Well, look, you got your little prayer answered. So it's like upheaval on the home front. I don't want to, I mean, this card talks about a lot of stuff. This could talk about a person going into foreclosure on a home, a person getting evicted, you know what I'm saying? A person being homeless, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, that sucks. I'm not, saying that this is like wishing ill on the person, like, oh my gosh, I hope they lose all of their money so we can be in love with each other. I don't necessarily feel like their whole life is going to be upended or anything, but it's more or less like, them either, like say if they had two jobs, losing a second job and them allocating the money from the second job to go towards a certain thing, like to pay, higher rent or whatever. It's like some type of shift in their finances around between May to June. And that can kind of be a trigger. But once again, I'll tell you this, Cancer, that's still not a guarantee, because when this happens, it's like this person is on a path, because once upon a time they were on a crossroads. Now this person picked a side and now they're taking that path. When this financial constraint happens, another crossroads is going to be offered to this person, right? And when that crossroads is offered, they could choose to stay on the same path that they've been on, or go the other route. So during this time frame, that thing is going to come up of them seeing like, hey, you're self-sabotaging, like, look at this is happening, and they can choose to either ignore that and keep going, or to work on it. So like I said, not telling you what to do, but don't bank on someone, changing and waiting around for that to happen unless you want to. Like, if you feel like this person is worth it, or if this kind of happening isn't so much of an issue for you, you know what I'm saying, then by all means have at it. You know what I'm saying? But it's your choice at the end of the day. But I hope and pray that this makes sense. Jesus, these connection sessions are like so long. I guess they are, because they have to be. Let me know what you think in the comments, since these are so freaking long. I mean, did you have some aha moments and whatnot? You know what I'm saying? But anywho, I love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later.